This story begins on a quiet street called Privet Drive. There lived a family, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley. They were very proud of being normal. They liked peace and order. They didn't want anything strange or mysterious near them. They wanted calm lives, simple lives, lives without surprises. Mr. Dursley was the director of a large company, a big man with hardly any neck and a very large mustache. Mrs. Dursley, thin and blonde, had quite the opposite, an unusually long neck. She often used it to peer over the garden fence, spying on her neighbors. She loved gossip. Together, they had a small son named Dudley, whom they considered absolutely perfect. The Dursleys had everything they ever wanted. Everything. Except for one thing they kept secret. Mrs. Dursley had a sister. Her name was Mrs. Potter, but Petunia Dursley pretended she didn't exist. Her sister and that husband of hers were far from normal, the kind of people the Dursleys wanted nothing to do with. And though the Potters also had a young son, the Dursleys didn't want their Dudley mixing with that kind of child. Then one Tuesday morning, everything began just as usual. But it would not stay that way. Because that ordinary day was about to become something quite extraordinary. While driving to work, Mr. Dursley noticed something strange. A cat sitting on the corner of Privet Drive, reading a map. Or at least, he thought it was. He blinked. Surely his eyes were deceiving him. Later, stuck in traffic, he saw more oddities, people wearing colorful cloaks and capes. Who dressed like that in broad daylight? He shook his head, muttering about silly fashions. But some of them weren't young at all. They were elderly, smiling and whispering excitedly to each other. At work, Mr. Dursley tried to forget. He barked orders, made phone calls, went out for lunch, trying to convince himself everything was normal. But outside the bakery, he overheard something that made his blood run cold. The Potters, yes, their son, Harry. He froze. Harry, that was his nephew's name, wasn't it? He hurried back to his office, heart pounding. There must be plenty of people named Potter, and maybe it wasn't even the same boy. He wanted to call Petunia, but decided not to. She'd be furious if he brought up her sister. All day, he couldn't focus. When evening came, he left work, head spinning. And just outside his building, he walked straight into a tiny old man wearing a violet cloak. "Sorry," said Mr. Dursley, but the man only smiled, eyes shining. "Don't be sorry, sir. Nothing could upset me today. Be happy, for you know who is gone. Even muggles like you should celebrate." Then the old man hugged him before disappearing into the crowd. Mr. Dursley stood frozen. You know who? Muggles? What on earth was happening? By the time he got home, his nerves were frayed, and there, sitting on the garden wall, was the same cat. It stared at him, still and silent. He shouted, waved his arms, but it didn't move, just watched. That night, during dinner, he tried to act normal. He, Petunia, and little Dudley talked about their day, pretending the world outside wasn't changing. When Dudley went to bed, Mr. Dursley turned on the evening news. Strange behavior among owls has been reported all over the country today, said the announcer. Owls flying in daylight. Thousands of shooting stars across Britain. The weatherman even joked about raining owls. Mr. Dursley sat stiffly in his chair. Owls, shooting stars, the Potters. He had to say something. Petunia, dear, he began carefully. Have you spoken to your sister lately? Her face turned cold. No. Why? Oh, nothing, he said quickly. Just strange things on the news. Owls, shooting stars, funny-looking people around town. I thought maybe it had something to do with people like her. Petunia's lips tightened. Our nephew, what's his name again? Howard? Harry, she snapped. Such a common name. Yes, that's right, Harry. They went to bed in silence. But Mr. Dursley couldn't sleep. He peered out the window. The cat was still there, motionless, watching. And then, at midnight, something remarkable happened. A tall, thin man appeared on the corner of Privet Drive. Old, silver-haired, eyes twinkling behind half-moon glasses. Albus Dumbledore. He looked toward the Dursleys' house and smiled when he saw the cat. I should have known, he murmured. With a strange device, like a lighter, he clicked 12 times. One by one, the streetlights went out, leaving only the cat's glowing eyes. He sat beside it. Fancy seeing you here, Professor McGonagall. The cat vanished, and in its place stood a woman in a green cloak. I should have known it was you, she said. They spoke softly about the night's events, the fall of Voldemort, the deaths of Lily and James Potter, and the miracle of the baby who survived. Little Harry Potter, the boy who lived. When Hagrid arrived on his flying motorcycle, the giant man carried a baby wrapped in blankets, asleep, peaceful. On his forehead, a small lightning-shaped scar. Dumbledore placed the child gently on the doorstep, tucked a letter beside him, and whispered, "Good luck, Harry. Until we meet again." He and the others disappeared into the night, and there on the quiet street, where nothing strange was ever supposed to happen, lay the strangest thing of all, a baby boy, the boy who lived. If you like this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.